Hello and welcome to today's video. This is the October TBR and this month we are not playing the Snakes and Ladders TBR game. We are in fact playing the Spookoplathon Monopoly board to get our TBR down. So during October the Spookoplathon is happening. This is a spooky version of the Bookoplathon and I will link the announcement video down below, but this is a TBR game and a TBR like readathon created by Becca and the books that happens yearly-ish. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing today. I'll be rolling on this board. This is just my little cutout that I made, just printed off exactly what was available, and it really isn't much to say. I'm just following the rules, so I don't really need to explain anything at all today. What I will say is the way that I decided to do the chance and the community cards is I just wrote 1 to 6 in them, and if they come up I roll one 6-sided die to decide what is there. That was the easiest way for me to complete them. I just made them into these little like openable little cards. So yeah, that is the board. That's what we're playing. There really isn't much else to say. This is the only thing that I'm committing to in October. I'm not doing my own TBR game. I'm not doing any other readathons that come up. I have figured out that one readathon a month is more than enough for me. So this is how we're picking our TBR, and our whole TBR will be happening based on this board. The readathon itself runs from the 1st till the 31st of October, so all month long. And I did 6 rolls. That's the only rule that isn't like set in stone. How to do it is how many rolls, because it should be how many rolls are like, yeah, reasonable for you to read. And I normally do 6 rolls for my TBR game, so I thought I'd do 6 rolls for this. And that's where we're at. Let's get into the rolls because I don't have anything else to add. Okay, I've got my little board here, I've got my 2 6-sided dice here, and I've got this little orange dinosaur. It's actually a rubber, but I thought it would make a decent little counter. So that is what we're using as our counter. And yeah, we're just gonna get going. Here is roll number 1. So roll number 1, we've got a 5, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's they're burning the witches even if you aren't one. Okay, I'm not sure what prompt that is. So for roll number 1 we got they're burning the witches even if you aren't one. So to fulfill this is like a train station-y prompt. It is a book featuring witches, the occult, cults or rituals, and I've decided to go for a poetry collection which is called Witch, which I think will suit it quite well. It says on the back, which is a strange, visceral and darkly witty debut by a startling new voice in British poetry. Rebecca Tamas reckons with blood and earth, mysticism and the devil, witch trials and the suffragettes, gender and sexuality. It turns lyrical, philosophical and obscene. Witch evokes the intimate, sensual power of nature and merges it with the revolutionary potential of women's voices. These are poems as spells. Spells against suppression, silence and obedience. Hexes that cling to your body like sweat, full of a messy, violent joy. A small, bright, filthy song. And I just think that will fit the prompt so well. I mean, it is as witchy as I feel like witchy can be. Like, this sounds great and I just can't wait to get it. I only got it last month, so it feels like I'm really getting around to it quickly. There's so many interesting poems in here. Like the first one that you turn to is called Penis Hex, and there's just so many more, like spell for exile, and these are all like poems written as spells, and I really think I'm going to have a great time, and I really hope that I do. Let's keep going. Roll number 2 is a 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is spooky for roll number 2. Okay, roll number 2, we got spooky. Quite self-explanatory, a spooky book. I decided to go in the deep end here. I failed at one of my goals this year. And I think this is the way around it. So one of my goals this year was to complete Dracula Daily, which is a website that will send you Dracula the day it happens. So for instance, chapter 1 starts on the 3rd of May. So the first email you get is on the 3rd of May. And then whenever the last chapter ends is when you get the last email. I failed at this, I couldn't keep up with it. So I failed. But I'm picking Dracula because I can just read this. I can. I can. It shouldn't be too intimidating. It should be doable. I just don't really know what I'm getting myself into. So here we are. It's a classic. It's about Dracula, it's about a vampire, it's, you know, the whole spooky gothic vibes. It fulfills the prompt, and it's one of those I either need to read and get to, or I'm never going to end up reading. I don't think I need to explain Dracula, so I won't. I read Carmilla last year and I was like, oh okay, this is actually doable, which was like a vampire book that was out before Dracula. And when I read that one, I was like, this is actually doable, but it was about the third of the size of this. So I think it's the fact that it's going to be, you know, not the easiest to get through. I'm going to have like big brain energy to read it all and understand it all, because like it was written quite a long time ago. And also it's going to be a time commitment. Like, look at how tiny the writing is in these pages. Like, I don't know. I'm committing to it. This is me saying I'm committing to it. Roll number 2 for spooky, we're picking Dracula. Roll number 3. We've got a 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's community shelf. Okay, so community shelf is over here. What I've done is wrote in 6 prompts on the inside. So we're just going to focus on this side of the die, so the one that currently says 3. We're going to roll, and whatever number that is whatever prompt I'll have to fulfill. So that is a 2, and that is cozy. So it'll be a cozy book for roll number 3. Then for roll number 3 we got our community shelf, which were different prompts. So I put like some that would be good, some that would be bad, and we ended up rolling a 2, which is cozy. So the prompt for this one is cozy, which we got from the community shelf. And I brought this last weekend and I'm so excited to get to it. I am so excited I've managed to fit it into the TBR this month. And that is Before Your Memory Fades. This is the 3rd book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. It sounds like from the synopsis this potentially happens at a different cafe to the one that we've been at for the first couple of books. I'm very, very intrigued. I really want to find out more and know more. I really love this series. The books are always made up of 4 short stories that are very much their own thing, but also linked together in very easy ways. The most obvious way that they're linked together is they all happen in the same place, so the characters that we interact with through these different stories are often the same people. Like, it's going to be the same barista working, it's going to be the same like person you talking to when you're getting your order done, like that sort of thing. But there's other ways that they have connected, and it's been very, very lovely. It was years ago now, I feel like I read the first 2, and I can't wait to get to the 3rd one. The 4th one has actually just come out, so when I can get my hands on a paperback version of that I will be getting that one too. But yeah, the very basics of this is a 3rd book. I assume it's going to be the very same basic plot. This is what I know from the first couple of books. There is a very specific cafe where you can sit in a very specific chair and order a very specific drink at a very specific time of day, and you can travel through time. You can travel through time anywhere you desire when you drink this drink at the coffee shop, and you are then at a different point in time. It is time travel. You can't get out of your chair, you can't leave the coffee shop. Like, you can only go and visit within that coffee shop. So for instance, if you wanted to visit someone who is like from your past, you'd need to know when they visited that coffee shop, what time, what day, and then go back to that exact place. And to make sure that you get back and you get back to your own time, you need to drink your coffee before the coffee gets cold. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. This is always cozy vibes for me. It's always a good time, and it fulfills this prompt amazingly. Okay, roll number 4 is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is Broken Mirror for roll number 4. Okay, roll number 4, we got Broken Mirror. So for this, there's a few ways it could be interpreted. It could be mirror on the cover or in the title, cracks on the cover, or a book with a reflected style. So the book I've chosen is literally reflected. Like, if you put a mirror down the middle of it, it'd be the same minus the title. So this is the book I've chosen. It is The Bone Library by Jenny Fagan, and this is another poetry collection. And as you can see, if you split this in half, the image is completely mirrored. So this is the one that I'm going for, and this just sounds like a really lovely collection that I'd really like to get to soon. This seemed like the perfect chance to fit it in, and honestly, like, I've been really getting into poetry the last few months, like wanting to read it more than usual, so I'm going to allow myself to fulfill that. These poems are alive with electricity pulsating with a frequency that vibrates throughout. In a journey from there to here, the Bone Library examines and interprets all of human life. Throughout the collection, Jenny Fagan responds to broader themes of identity, of place, of love and the unloved. Written in the old Dick Van Bone Library during the author's time as a writer-in-residence there, this is a vivid exploration that is honest and searching and cuts to the very core of what it is to be alive. And I have already had a flick through this. This is one that I got second hand. When it arrived, it was signed. It wasn't advertised as that. I paid £2 for this, so I'm very, very shocked. But yeah, and if I've flicked through a few of the poems and they just sound really good and really interesting and like they're going to capture me. I know who I am. I know who I am, although others often make me forget. With their pelican hunger, the pistons in my mind alarm them. I know who I am and who I am. It is not beholden to wankers. I am not the servile vessel of flaccid stiffenings. A pluck-haired pale mound of flabby skin, shot through with a dark spot of keratin. I'm only half human, it's not my best side. And that's just like one that I randomly flicked through that was only a page long, so there's so much in here and I think it's going to be so good and I really can't wait to read it. Roll number 5. We have a 3 and a 1, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is poll pick for roll number 5. Okay, then we have a poll pick. I did the rolls for this last night. I was going to record it straight away and then I got a poll pick once. I was like, I knew I needed to leave it up for a little while. So before I see the results, these are the 4 books that I picked to go on the poll. So that is Aurora Rising, Illuminae, The Modern Fairy Tales and The Atlas 6. I picked these 4 books because they are all first books or complete series, I guess. Like, I imagined myself only reading one of these books, but The Modern Fairy Tales is 3 books in one. And yeah, they're all first books in series that I own multiple books of, minus this one, and haven't started, so I don't even know if I'm gonna like. So yeah, that's why I picked them. There's no real rhyme or reason, but that's what we went with. And if we now have a look, okay, so the winner with 47% of the vote was number 4, which was Illuminae. Yeah, 47%. The next closest was number 3 with 32%, so definitely a clear winner here. And this is the one I'm going to pick. So yeah, Illuminae. I know very little about this. I know that it is multimedia, the way that it is written. I know that we don't just have writing, we have interviews, we have documents, we have like spaceship models. I think it's going to be a fun time, a fun read. I don't even know what these pages are, so let's just read the back of it because I really don't have anything to tell you. I just think it sounds intriguing. The year is 2575 and 2 mega corporations are at war over a planet that's little more than an ice-covered speck. Too bad nobody thought to warn the people living on it. With enemy fire raining down on them, Ezra and Caddy have to make their escape on an evacuating fleet. But their troubles are just beginning. A deadly plague has broken out on one of the spaceships, and it is mutating with terrifying results. Their ship's protection is seriously flawed. No one will say what is going on. As Caddy hacks into the tangled web of data to find the truth, it's clear only one person can help her, Ezra. And the only problem with that is they split up before all this trouble started, and she isn't supposed to be talking to him. A fantastically original, heart-stopping adventure where everything is definitely more dangerous than it seems. I'm intrigued. I want to give it a go. I think it's going to be a fun time. And then finally, as long as we don't get a double, roll number 6 is a 5 and a 3, which is 8. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is Chance Okay, so here on the chance I've done the exact same, wrote down exact titles for the 6 numbers. So again, we'll focus on this side, the one that currently says 5, now says 5. So we'll be reading The Secret History. And then our final roll number 6, because we didn't get any doubles, which was rather lovely, is a chance. And then we rolled a 5 after that, so we got The Secret History. That was just the book that I wrote down. The way that I wrote books down for this one is some books that I've got and can't wait to get to, and some books that I've had a long time and seem to keep putting off. And by my tone, you might be able to tell I keep putting this one off. I really want to read it. I'm just very intimidated by it. I haven't read any Dark Academia yet. I've been putting all Dark Academia off because I was like, well, I should read this one first. And I really should read it first. I really should. I really should. I mean, I'm going to. We've picked it. It's going to be done. Again, it's a book that I feel like needs big brain energy, and that is not always what I have. But on the back, it says, under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, their lives are changed profoundly and forever. I don't know what I'm getting into. Everyone loves this book. Hopefully I do too. And those are all the books that we've ended up with on this TBR. I'm happy with this. I think I can read them all. I think I can do it. I think I can complete the TBR. But it doesn't scream October to me. I might add a few more spooky books in depending on where we get to throughout the month. I feel like especially Halloween weekend, I'm going to want a few more spooky. But we can solve that out on that weekend. So yeah, that's everything from me. I really don't have anything else to add. I've had a fab time playing this, and I really can't wait for October and for the actual readathon to start, to do some reading sprints, to really get into it and see how much of this TBR we can actually get through and tackle. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you did like it, please do give it a like, subscribe down below if you'd like to see any more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!